Good afternoon and welcome to Red True Crime. I'm your host, Rebecca, and welcome to my COVID site isolation. Yay! I apologize for not posting more. I am getting there slowly on the mend from COVID, and be careful out there, everybody, because this is a nasty strain. Because it's a combination of COVID and flu, so the symptoms are worse and it lasts longer. And I still feel like dirt. So I'm not going to lie. But crime always happens whether you feel good or not. And we are going to talk about some stuff. So one case is out of Chicago, one case is out of my state of North Carolina. One could have been prevented, the other, still early days. So sit back, relax. We're going to get into this. And if you're out there, wear a mask because it's a nasty one. Bye. All right. Thank you for being here. So, like I said, this is Rebecca with Red True Crime, and we're going to get into some cases here that it's upsetting, both involving educators. One, like I said, could be prevented. The other one, we don't know what has actually happened. So, we're going to get into this. So, first, we're going to talk about Linda Brown. Now, Linda Brown is a 53-year-old woman that went missing over the weekend out of Chicago. She is a special education teacher, and it's not like her to disappear. Now, her husband, he woke up, she was gone. She had an appointment to go see an acupuncturist, and she never made it there. But her keys, her car, her purse, and her credit cards are all missing. Everyone's looking. No one knows where she is. Now, I did not get into this case too much because, I've been sick, and I just started glossing over, going over some of the facts that have come out since it's been Saturday. We're on Wednesday. So, it's been a few days. She still has not been found. But one thing I'm finding interesting is now the news media is reporting that she suffered from mental illness. They really weren't talking about that before. They kept saying she had some type of medical thing going on. She needed to be found. But now they're alluding to, or they actually use the word, she did suffer from mental illness. Now, what that is, I don't know. It could be depression, it could be bipolar, it could be who knows what. But she's had some mental health crises before, but per her husband, she's never disappeared. So this is a first for her. Now, if you look at the comments and some of the coverage that's been going on with this case, everyone's blaming the husband, which I understand why. Because when you have a case of a missing person or someone who's been killed, your number one suspect is their significant other. Because strangers who kill and kidnap, it's very rare when you have strangers doing that. More than likely, it's somebody that you know or you've met before, or somebody you're related to or married to or whatever. That's usually your culprit. Now, there's been footage of him talking to the reporters, making a plea for her, and people have said they don't believe he's being sincere. They think he's done it. I don't know. I watched what I had, and he doesn't come across guilty to me. But until they release more information about their relationship and whatnot, it's kind of hard to say anything that's going on with this. So I'm going to put the video up here of him making a plea. You tell me what you think.
Chicago police say 53-year-old Linda Brown was last seen Saturday afternoon in Bronzeville in the 4500 block of MLK Jr. Drive. Investigators believe she may be driving a blue Honda Civic and may be in need of medical attention.
Oh, I'm sorry, I put the wrong one up. Okay, hold on one second here. Let me grab the other one. But Actually, I don't have it, so I apologize. He seemed very sincere to me. One YouTuber put out, why did he point out that she had her credit cards? I don't find that odd at all. Um, and I don't find the fact that he woke up, she wasn't in bed, him not being suspicious, because she had a standing appointment with an acupuncturist every weekend. So nothing he's doing I find peculiar at all. Her family is standing by him, his family is standing by him. So usually if there's something suspect going on, her family would have said something, I would think. It's usually like whoever's missing, their family said, oh, they did it, killed him, you know. So, and I'm not seeing that. But again, it's early days. So here's my initial response, because they're now alluding to her having a mental illness issue. It's possible she may have just got in the car and went somewhere else, to decompress. Maybe the world got too much for her. I know teacher burnout is a real thing all over the country, and she works in special education. So I would not be surprised if she's burned out from that and she just decided it got to be too much and she just took off somewhere. It's a possibility. Not saying that's what happened. I pray to God she's found. I pray to God she's not hurt herself, or someone else hasn't hurt her and she gets returned and she comes home comes home. But these are all things we have to keep in mind, because like that case in Texas where that college girl, Camilla, almost went missing. They saw her walking and then everyone's like, oh, someone took her. But then you find out she had an undiagnosed mental health issue and she took her own life. Not saying that's what happened here, but sometimes all the information's not out. So this is early days. And the fact they're already dropping this hint makes me think the cops are thinking she's done something to herself. But we shall wait and see. Now we're going to get into the most heartbreaking case of Zoe Welch. This is by all means shocking. Hold on one second here. Pull this back up. There it is. So, Zoe Welch, 57-year-old school teacher out of the Raleigh-Durham area. She was a science lover. She worked at a private school, had been there for 30 years. Everybody knew her, and she taught science and AP biology and forensic science. She very well into the sciences. Now, this past Saturday, there was a man that broke into her home, and while she was on the phone with 911, he killed her. Now, that is a travesty all on its own. The biggest travesty is the fact that this could have been prevented. Enter in one Ryan Camacho. He is a long-time offender, is the best way I can put it, and he has been given every opportunity to be rehabbed, but it just didn't happen. And that, in my opinion, is the greatest travesty of this whole case, because he is somebody with severe mental health issues. He has been under guardianship after guardianship after guardianship. He has been hospitalized multiple times, but yet he's been returned to the street, allowed to live a homeless lifestyle, and harass and hurt people. So, this I found. That is a clear shot of all of his mugshot, of all the things he's done. And I try to get into our portal in North Carolina to go over his things, everything he's had. And he's had so many cases, even going back to when he was a juvenile. But the latest one, his attorney tried to get him help, tried to get him committed, and the judge wouldn't do it. They had a person from Elwyn Adult Behavioral Health come in and talk to the judge. They talked to the man's mother, who at one point had guardianship over him. I mean, it got so bad that the attorney who was defending him tried to get the judge recused, because he was having meetings with his mother and mental health people without her or the client being there, to see what was going on. But I mean, we go back to, 2005. He was picked up for misdemeanor larceny, and then he paid a fine and he got out. Let's see. I mean, everything goes back to 2024, 2025, but you could see the escalation over time, like 2005, 2007, 2009. He actually spent time in the state prison escaped, got put back in, but then got let loose. He had been hospitalized in Butner, which is a mental health facility, also a prison, I believe. Multiple times his mom's asking for guardianship. She got it. Or he got a guardian ad litem, somebody with the state who was monitoring him. And then, his behavior was never under control. They have not said exactly what mental health issue he suffers from, but I can tell you there was a family, and this was the craziest thing I've read out of everything. A guy with the last name of Phillips, that he literally was stalking these people. As he tells the story, he knocked on, Ryan Comanche knocked on his door one day. He opened it. The guy just stood there and stared at him. Didn't do anything, didn't say anything, just stared at him and then wandered away. And then this guy kept trying to break into their house, kept following them around. This family moved multiple times. So let's see. In 2005, when Ryan was 16, he was charged with assault with a deadly weapon. That was one first thing of violence right there. He was 17 when those charges were dismissed by the Wake County District Attorney. In 2016, Ryan's mother had him committed for the first time. Months later, he was arrested for property damage, multiple trespassing charges, and misdemeanor stalking. Now, the Phillips family shared that Comanche began stalking them when they moved into his 5 Points neighborhood. So he lived in the same neighborhood. He served, they moved to escape him, but he kept finding them. He served 33 days, and 2 weeks later was charged with trespassing again. In 2017, his mother filed a petition to have him declared incompetent and then asked for her request to be dismissed. That's important. After time in jail, a homeless shelter, and a psychiatric hospital in Butner, he moved back in with his mother before flying to Saipan, as he believed he needed to escape the CIA. So it sounds like to me he's got some type of form of schizophrenia. 2018, she had him committed again, and he was deemed partially incompetent in March of that year. Same year, he took to the neighborhood social platform next door to warn the neighbors about criminals and their tactics. 2019, he was charged with multiple felonies, and after he fired into an occupied property. And then the home in which he fired had been occupied by the Phillips family before they moved for the second time to escape him. So after pleading guilty to 2 charges, the remaining were dismissed, and he was sentenced to supervised probation. Okay, before we go any further, here's this thing. This guy has got documented mental health issues, crises, and it's been intervened. He's been locked away. He's done all these things. Why on earth is he still getting let out on the streets? He's fired into an occupied home with people in it. He's already assaulted people with a weapon before all this, but yet he keeps getting let loose. So in 2021, he was sentenced to 2 years after a Durham break-in where he attempted to escape prison. He was taken to a psychiatric unit in the central prison. Days later, his mother was granted guardianship after successfully petitioning for her son to be declared incompetent yet again. Now, in early 2024, he was released from prison, but days later committed 2 more break-ins. In November 2024, he was convicted of 7 misdemeanors for breaking and entering. Now let's fast forward to December of 2025, a month ago. Judge Louis B. Mayer said Camacho was found incapable of proceeding, dismissed charges of misdemeanor larceny, breaking or entering, and injury to real property in Wake County. A request was made and denied to have him committed. Why? Do you not read the history of what this guy has been doing? Why was he not committed? And then just a few weeks later, Zoe Welsh woke to an intruder and was murdered while on the phone with 911. So tell me, who's to blame here? Is it the system? Is it his mother? Is it both? But this could have been prevented. This death, this poor woman right here, should be going back to class and teaching students about science. But no, because this guy right here was never taken care of, was never committed properly, was not addressed, and he was let loose to do this. I do not know why on earth this keeps happening in North Carolina, where we have people with severe mental illness that's killing random people for no reason. Zoe Welsh being one, Evrina Zaruska is another one. There was another case of somebody stabbing somebody on a subway, on an L train up in the Charlotte area with mental health problems, but this person survived. This is happening way too often, and I don't understand it at all. So please tell me who's at fault here, because in my opinion, both his mother and the system are at fault. Because I don't understand why he keeps getting let loose to go do whatever the hell he wants. Because now we've got a body. There's blood on that judge's hands. There's blood on his mother's hands because they did not intervene and keep him locked up. Mental health issues aside, I get it. It's hard. I've had members of my own family with mental crises, and I've seen the violence of them when they are not stable. But this man kept proving over and over again that once he gets out, he's going to break into somebody's house and he's going to do something. He's done this multiple times over the course of 20 years. What was the line? Him killing somebody? Because now he's going to get locked up for life, probably in a mental health facility. But it should not have taken someone to lose their life for that to happen. And I'm sorry. I just can't say anything else about this. She should not have died. This never should have happened. So you tell me. You guys let me know if you think I'm being too harsh, but I really think the guy should have been locked up long before this for life. And that's just my thought. But this is Rebecca with Red True Crime. Drop me your comments, your concerns, your thoughts on either one of these cases, Linda Brown or Zoe Welsh. And if you have not already, subscribed to the channel, like, sign in, subscribe, comment, and everything else. And thank you again for tuning in and supporting the channel. And happy New Year to a 2026 and COVID free. Bye, everybody.